Thursday, September 8th. This is a SPY recap, end of the day. This is a Thursday, just a 4-day week. This is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can see here we end up with another green bar that held the midpoint of the prior day, worked up above the previous day's highs as expected, and still didn't hit the target we were talking about on the morning video. This is these two bars right here, and now we have a third bar right here. So it's almost hard to believe, you're not going to get above there. There's got to be a whole bunch of stops here and everything else. And quite frankly, if we zoom out the 15-minute chart and just take a look at it on this downtrend, it almost forms the classic like flat top that in many cases could be a very powerful, but if that holds, that could be a powerful breakout that starts heading up here and up here. This could be a big reversal of the whole trend. It could just go up there and fail and then come down too. So, this is what we're going to really be watching for the next, into tomorrow and into next week and everything, and see what develops. But in terms of today, very straightforward. Again, we were looking for continuation higher. I was showing you how on the opening video, the pre-market range was kind of coming down at the beginning, and I kind of like that in terms of just believing that the high of yesterday would be taken out. And what we get here, let me scale the chart for a second because there's a bad tick in there. Well, let me see. Unfortunately, there's a bad tick, but I'll try to zoom in. You can see the first bar was green, and that was kind of the buy. Then the breakout was buy. We held the midpoint of that first bar, and it was a great morning trade up to, above yesterday's highs. Then there was just a normal pause. This was actually a Queen Elizabeth kind of announcement, and then the market kind of immediately got back into what it was doing all day, just kind of pausing all day with a little bit of a attempt to head higher towards the very close. So really, like most of the trading I do, that first move of the day is where you can just take the base hit profits, and that was easy to do on this day. A lot of stocks, same thing, kind of moved up from the start, and we're working towards their highs from yesterday and some other bigger picture targets above. So we end up with a big 2-up day, and again, pretty high probability we're going to take out these stops, and if things really get strong, we can really move from there. We have now what looks like a failed 2-down week where you took out the midpoint, the low of the previous week, got to the midpoint of that week. So that projects we have one more day to go, possibly outside bar to the upside here by tomorrow. We'll see if we get a real strong day. That's what it's kind of projecting, but we are running out of time in the week. One more day, but a strong day, can get an outside bar. That's still the target if everything, depending how things open tomorrow. So far, the aftermarket action is just kind of holding steady near the close. So we're going to look for highs. And again, as I discussed many times now, the monthly chart, while still potentially, have the opportunity to fail somewhere in here below the midpoint of this prior bar and turn back down until we really see something that's going to threaten the open of that bar, to turn it red again. Then you just kind of stick with the long side in terms of short-term trading for now. Hard to say if we're going to have a big breakout and completely fail on this bar and take out the midpoint of it and then maybe be heading to the highs, or like I said, it could be really exciting if you get some kind of move right up here and it fails big, in a big way, and it might not, you might just get a reversal bar by the end of Friday, and then into next week you start to get the 2-down days going. So no, you don't have to guess, in terms of you don't have to, if it heads up there and you see something, you don't know for sure until you have plenty of time, in other words, to get short, because this red line is where everything's going to really turn back down, the continuity back down. But you might get a 2-up bar with a shooter kind of close to in red, and then you can anticipate a 2-down bar into next week might be taking out this. You watch for that at that point. But anyway, we're not there yet. We're still heading up, and now the question is, let's just I'm anticipating still heading up a little higher. Let's see if once we get there, what price decides to do, and we'll kind of check the pre-market action and the as always, just showing you. The main thing I'm showing here is this. You put all your thoughts together about what's happening here, but then you still got to go by the the overnight action, the pre-market action, and how price opens, especially that first bar, relative to, and this is a good example. First bar of the day was the low of the day. So, the higher low often, happens early in the session. And that's why we're watching this opening price action to really judge our trades. And, when they align, like today, you would definitely look into the upside. It aligned with the upside at the bottom of the pre-market range with that first bar. So there's your good trade. And tomorrow we might get the same thing. And we'll just find out. But let's see, interesting how we close the week. I'm curious, if we head up here, do we hold and build some momentum, or does it seem like a pretty clear failure? That might give a little hint as to what's going to develop into next week. So we'll go from there.